I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers. The Air Force interest in this problem has been due to our feeling of an obligation to identify and analyze to the best of our ability anything in the air that may have the possibility of threat or menace to the United States. In pursuit of this obligation, since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports that have come to us from all kinds of sources. Of this great mass of reports, we have been able adequately to explain the great bulk of them, explain them to our own satisfaction. However, there have been a certain percentage of this volume of reports that have been made by credible observers of relatively incredible things.
Spinner 1620 to sir, if you're able to identify the type of aircraft. We cannot identify the type. They're coming like a formation. It's quite a big. Just deviate from some object. Equating 240. Spinner 1628 heavy. Deviation is approved as necessary for traffic. Spinner 1628 heavy. Military radar advises they are picking up an intermittent primary target behind you. In trail, I say again.
Do you have anybody to scramble up there, or it's starting to concern Japan Airlines, actually 360 now, still following?
Okay, we'll call the military desk on this.
We let them watch the video. We had all the data there. We had all the printouts that the computer put out. They got all excited over it. When it was all done, the CIA, one of the CIA men told the people they were now sworn to secrecy that this meeting never happened and this event never happened.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
My gosh.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not.
That is the LNS, dude.
Well, if there's like...
Look at that thing.
It's rotating.
We were primarily seeing dark gray or black cubes inside of a clear sphere.
I'm sorry, dark gray or black cubes?
Yes, inside of a clear sphere, where the apex or tips of the cube were touching the inside of that sphere. And that was primarily what was being reported when we were able to gain a visual tally of these objects. And that occurred over almost 8 years. And as far as I know, it's still occurring.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
And General Ramey is the one who discussed or told the newspapers what it was and to forget about it. It was nothing more than a weather observation balloon. Of course, which we both knew differently. It was not anything from this earth.
It was a cover story, the balloon part of it. This is more than top secret, as he said. It's beyond that.
They had gone on a call of what they thought was going to be a plane crash north of Roswell. And when they got out there, what they saw was not a plane that was our plane, but he said it was a flying craft from somewhere else. Mother asked all the questions, and we were just listening, and she started, what do you mean somewhere else? And he said, it's not an airplane. He said, it's not from this world.
That this was the material that had come from the New Mexico crash in 1947. And all eyes were just peeled on that particular thing, and when he told us what it was, it was frightening. It was eerie there. You could have heard a pin drop in the room.
Then he created the Foreign Technology Division about a week later and put me in charge of it. There I started getting the topsy reports. I started getting other crash reports, the artifacts I got, that a crash really happened here. Of course, then I kept it quiet for 35 years. I had an oath with the general. No, the general told me, he said, Phil, let's keep it secret. When I die, though, I relieve you of my oath. 3 years ago, the general died.
Hey, Dave, it's Sid from the United Tower. Hey, did you see a flying disc out by C-17?
You're seeing flying discs.
Well, look at the pilot and the ramp guys are telling us the C-17, they saw some flying disc above them.
O'Hare Tower, Dwight.
This is Sid from United.
Yes?
There was a disc out there flying around. I told Dave there was a disc flying outside above Charlie 17.
Yeah.
Someone actually has a picture of it, so if you guys see it out there.
A disc? Like a frisbee?
Like a UFO type thing.
Gateway 5668.
5668, go ahead.
Yeah, look out your window. Do you see anything above United's concourse? They actually, believe it or not, they called us and said somebody observed a flying disc about 1,000 feet above the gate Charlie 17. You see anything over there?
Not that I can tell. We saw it a half hour ago.
Who saw it?
A whole bunch of us over at the Charlie concourse.
Really? You guys did? Who's this?
This is United Taxi Mechanics.
They counted down the missile. We heard engine ignition, lift off. We knew the missile was underway. And we were looking down southwest, and the missile popped up through the fog. It was just beautiful. And I hollered, there it is. And our guys on our M45 tracking mount with 180-inch lenses on it got it. And the big BU telescope swung over and got it. So we whooped and shouted, and we sent the film back down to Vandenberg, and I was called into Major Mansman's office. I walked into his office, and they had a screen and a 16mm projector set up. And Major Mansman said, watch this. There was the launch from a day or two before it at Big Sur. It was quite exciting. And into the frame came something else. It flew into the frame like this, and it shot a beam of light at the warhead. Now, remember, all this stuff is flying at several thousand miles an hour. So this thing fires a beam of light at the warhead, hits it, and then this thing flies up like this, fires another beam of light, goes around like this, fires another beam of light, goes down like this, fires another beam of light, and then flies out the way it came in. And the warhead tumbles out of space. Now when the lights came on, Major Mansman turned around and looked at me and said, were you guys screwing around up there? And I said, no sir. And he said, what was that? And I said, it looks to me like we got a UFO. Now the thing that we saw, this object that flew in, was circular, was shaped like two saucers cupped like this with a ping pong ball on top. The beam of light came out of the ping pong ball.
There's nothing on their radars on the other centers at all on that particular area, that object that's up in the air? It's up in the air? Affirmative. With a drill that starts going counterclockwise, and the length is
unbelievable. It was between the weather and us, and when the lightning, you could see a dark object, and it was pretty eerie looking.
Go ahead.
Guy at 39,000 says he sees something at 30,000 that the length is unbelievable and has a strobe on it.
Uh-huh.
This is not good.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a UFO, so it's...
Arcade 5 in the next about 2 to 3 minutes. Be looking off to your right side. If you see anything about 30,000 feet.
That's we'll take that up about a little lower than us, just went up our left way.
I've got something unusual, and I was wondering if you all happen to know of anything going on out here. I had a couple of aircraft reported something 300 to 400 foot long, cylindrical in shape with a strobe at 30,000 feet.
We don't have anything going on that I know of.
This guy definitely saw it run all the way down the side of the airplane. It's right out of the X-Files. I mean, it's a definite UFO or something like that.
Sometime in the evening hours on March 24th, I received a call from one of my topside guards, the flight security controller, stating that they had been observing strange lights in the sky making odd maneuvers and wanted to report it. You have to understand we were protecting nuclear weapons, and the reports we generally got were very professional. He called back about 5 minutes later. This time he was screaming into the phone saying they're looking at a red glowing object hovering just above our front gate. This object was about 30 feet in diameter. He couldn't make out too much of the details of the object, only that it was pulsating, and he had all the guards out there. He was very frightened. I went to wake my commander, Fred Mywald, who was taking a rest break, started to tell him about the phone call, and just as I told him, our missiles began going into what's called a no-go condition or unlaunchable. Essentially, they were disabled while this object was still hovering over our site. We had to call in for maintenance teams to come out and bring them back up on alert.
That evening, I got a call from Job Control saying a missile going down in Oscar flight, go out and restart it. I mentioned to them that doesn't happen. They says, well, it happened once before, about a week before. A UFO was sighted over Echo Flight. About the same time, all missiles in Echo Flight went down. He says, other than that and this is it. It's never have happened before. Personally, I'm never aware of any 2 missiles going down at the same time, let alone 10.